Alright guys, I want to talk about just what what the fudge is up with the time skip. I've tried to make the Alright guys, I'm going to try to keep this video short. I've tried to make this video on two separate occasions, and both times the video has been like 45 minutes long, no joke. I don't understand what it is I'm doing. But this time I'm going to keep it as short as possible. Most likely not spending too long on each character. There are 10 characters, so if I spend like 2 minutes per character, I should be good. Hopefully. I'm going to talk about what the fudge is up with post-time skip compared to pre-time skip. Almost every character had a glow down. Actually, I'd say it's about 50-50. About half the characters had a glow down. And then also what's up with their personalities, because their personalities also are terrible post-time skip. Not all of them, but most of them. So first off, we're going to start. You would think that I'm going to go chronologically, but you're wrong. I'm going based off of this handy-dandy picture that's in front of me, which is definitely not in chronological order. First off, we're going with Sanji. Sanji had a glow up, partially. I'm not a big fan of Sanji's face. I kind of liked it how it was before, although I do like that they switched the way his hair went. I feel like it just signifies, this is a new Sanji, a different Sanji. But Sanji is one that I do not have a complaint with, stylistic-wise. And even personality-wise, I like it too. He's very good. My problem with him is, why does he not have Haki? Now, I'm going to have this problem with nearly every character on this list. Every Straw Hat should have learned Haki, especially Robin since she was with the Revolutionary Army. But every single one should have learned Haki. Now, I am not caught up with One Piece. I am currently in Dressrosa, so maybe they do have some Haki that they haven't revealed yet. I mean, I do know about Zoro's, even though I'm not up to where he actually reveals it. I just know about it. But Sanji was on a island where everyone was trying to chase him. He had to hide constantly. He most likely had no time to sleep ever. So he had to constantly be on watch. He should have just inherently gained the ability to use observation Haki. I'm not saying he had to be like God tier at it, even though it would make a total sense for him to be really good at observation Haki. But at least a little observation Haki. Like, he learned his new jump. I forget what he called it. I think it's called the moonwalk, something like that. Which is really, really cool. But it would make so much more sense if he learned some observation Haki, because of the fact he's on the Kamabaka Islands, which every single person there is a master of Kamabaka Kempo, which he had to defeat 100 masters. You're telling me not one had knowledge about observation Haki? You're telling me Ivankov, who wanted to help out Luffy, so he chose to help out Sanji, wouldn't teach him observation Haki? Unless you're saying that Ivankov doesn't know it, but that makes less sense. He worked for the Revolutionary Army. Or she, whichever one. I realize that she and he is both, so both. Nami also should have learned observation Haki, but that's down the line. First, her design, major glow up. She looks more of a woman. Before, she looked like a teenager, which I think she is. I think she was 17 or something like that. I don't know. But before, she looked like a teenager, and now she looks like an adult. It's a 2-year time skip. Makes sense. She was perfect. She went up the way she's supposed to, and I'm not just talking about her large breasts. But Nami, very beautiful. I like her with long hair. Great choice. Her personality, once again, cannot complain. Great decision on her personality. She should have learned observation Haki as well. She looks at the sky to determine weather. She was able to determine weather patterns by just a whiff, by smelling a difference, and I'm assuming air temperature or something stupid like that. She definitely would have learned observation Haki, especially since she was being trained by people from the New World. She was being trained by people that travel around the entire world who mainly stay in the New World. They shouldn't understand that as well, especially since they had books on New World weather patterns. Usopp, major glow up. Genuinely my favorite glow up of the entire show. He looks amazing. His personality is amazing. The only thing that I don't like is that he has all this muscle now, and when you see him pop up, you're like, oh, Usopp's gonna change, right? Like, he looks muscular, he's very handsome, he looks so much more confident. He's been training on an island for 2 years against gigantic monsters. You would think he would be more confident and actually able to fight. But no, he's just as useless as he's always been. He is more useful, you know, he has like his trick arrows and whatnot, and it's super cool and whatnot. But he still doesn't do anything. I wanted Usopp to become one of the big three. Well, it would be 4 then, not 3. But Usopp should be on the front line too. Maybe behind everyone else. Because, you know, when everyone thinks like the powerhouses like Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji, they go in and wreck everything. But I believe Usopp was set up to have a place there. A little bit below them, but still respectable to a certain degree. I'm not sure what he would have learned. Maybe that little armament hockey from Boa Hancock's island. I forget the name of her island. Little Flower, Lily, something like that. So it's something along those lines. He should have learned that technique where like he can like give armament hockey to his attacks to make them like even stronger. That would have been cool. But I guess he doesn't technically need any hockey. He's like one of the only Straw Hats that I would say he doesn't need a hockey. But I guess it would have been cool if he learned that kind of armament hockey. Zoro, I do not like his design. I think his design is poo-poo McPoo-poo-poo. Poo-poo-poo-poo-poo. Terrible, terrible, terrible design. They just turned him into a generic samurai. He's boring now. Before, he was like a freelancer. He went around, yeah, he was a samurai, and, you know, he had like a whole bunch of, and he had his like bravado about him and like all that. But he was just a freelance guy. He walked around. He would slice anyone in his way. That was super cool. That was super awesome about him. Now he's just a boring samurai. He also, I don't know how he lost his eye. They never explained that. The lost eye is cool, though. That is cool. About his personality, they kind of made him bland. Now he's just like the angry guy who sits in the corner and just does what he has to do. That was never Zoro. Zoro was quiet and he stood in the corner, but that's just because he was like lazy and like wanting to sleep all the time. And all he wanted was like booze and whatnot. That was cool. He used to be cool and stood in the corner because he was too cool to do anything. But now he's just like, oh, whatever, I'll do what I have to do and then go back. And he only really shows his like a bit of his old personality when he needs to. Like he showed a little bit of personality when Smoker and his assistant showed up and they were trying to fight Monet. That, you know, he showed his personality there. And a few other sections I can't think of off the top of my head. But he just kind of, I'm not a fan. I don't like it. Luffy. Great. Not amazing. I did kind of like his old style. But it's nice. I think it 100% works. I like the little towel that he has around him. When he first showed up after the time skip, I feel like he looked really weird. But that was probably just an animation error. But yeah, no. Still looks great. Love Luffy. Personality-wise, they kind of made him extra stupid now. He's really, like, they boiled his personality down way too much. They, like, turned him from, like, someone with a lot of character, he's all about freedom, he's all about fun, he's all about, like, these things, to just a silly little kid you see on, like, a Cartoon Network show. who sometimes has moments where where he gets all of his personality back. He gets serious. He's like actually upset about things. But generally speaking, if he's not in a serious moment, he's just a Cartoon Network kid. Tony Chopper. I don't like what they did to him. He before was like this cute guy with like a semi rugged design, but now like his arms extend from his neck pretty much. Man looks like two balloons. I don't like that he wears that little like armor piece on top of his hat. I think it looks dumb. I like the old hat better. And I think it's almost like a disrespect thing that he's covering the hat that he got from Dr. Hairlook. Like that hat is his treasure. That hat is like an important thing about him, and he's like covering most of it with his new hat. It's stupid. Also, he should have learned armament hockey, and they should not have given him Kung Fu Point. My main problem with Chopper, because his personality stays pretty much the same, my main problem with Chopper is Kung Fu Point. What was cool about Chopper pre-time skip is that he would use his ability to change his body around to his advantage. He would run at you full speed in his fudging reindeer form, and then right before he hits you, he would bulk up into strong point, armor point. I forget what it was called. And if he needed to like hit you from afar, he just aimed with his other point that he could somehow shoot people from afar. That was super cool. But now he just kind of does Kung Fu Point. Oh, there's someone that I need to fight. I'll just go Kung Fu Point. If he needs extra strength, he'll go Heavy Point. If he needs extra speed, he'll go Reindeer Point. But it was cool watching him like switch back and forth when necessary, to like keep his opponent on their toes. And now he just says Kung Fu Point. It's like, what's the point of him even having the other ones? Robin, major glow up. I thought her face was kind of ugly in the pre-time skip. I don't like that they made her white. Like, she had a bit of color on her. She was tan. I was thinking maybe she was like mostly white, but maybe she had a little bit of like Spanish or like Colombian in her. And then post time skip, she's just as pale as everyone else. Actually, she's the palest one besides Brooke, because he's just made of bones and they're white. But Nami's personality is still the same. They give her nothing to do, which kind of sucks. Is that that Robin just kind of sits in the background because she literally has nothing to do. But she's cool. Her boobs are nice. That's all I really got to say about her. She should have learned some hockey too. I don't know what hockey. Maybe observation hockey. Almost all the Straw Hats could get some use out of observation hockey. She's cool though. I got nothing really to say. Frankie is my least favorite one. He had the worst thing done to him. He went from this super uber cool like robot human hybrid super buff like all American kind of guy to a toy. They turned him into a toy. They switched him from like a really cool guy who was like the like scientist who was like the shipwright of the group, but he was just like, he was a shipwright, but he was a person. They took away all of his personhood. He was a person before he was a cyborg. Now he's just a cyborg, and he doesn't even have the hair that he used to have. He's super boring, and I hate him. His personality is still there, but I just don't feel it anymore. He should have learned armament hockey just to make his, like, he could, like, add extra armor to the Sunny whenever he's, like, on the Sunny and he's, like, ram something. He just adds armament hockey to, like, the bow, and he, like, has to fudging ram into something. Or, like, he can armament hockey his strong right, and, like, or he can, like, armament hockey the bullets of his weapons left. There was so many things, so many missed opportunities with that, especially since he was in Vegapunk's lab. There's no way Vegapunk did not research how hockey works. There's no way that wasn't a thing. Next up is Brook. Nothing really to say about Brook. He is cool, But the thing is that with Brook is that he was already like 50 years old. There was nothing really for him to learn. He should have learned hockey, but there was no room for him to change personality-wise, because he's already been alive for over 50 years. I think he was. I think he's cool the way he is now. I kind of preferred his clothes before. I like the Bowie. The Bowie is cool, and the hat. But I liked his black pants before. I don't like the flowery pattern. But that's just a personal preference. I can see why other people like it. He should have learned a little bit of armman hockey, just so he can get like his skill up a little bit. I know he didn't. I know it wouldn't really have made any sense, since he was the entire time he was just performing and stuff like that. So it doesn't make sense for him to get any stronger, or for him to learn any hockey. But I just think it would have been cool. That's all the problems I have with the show right now. But these problems reign true to the point where, for a little while, I kind of didn't want to watch One Piece anymore. Which is the saddest thing, because pre-time skip, I was watching it every day. You couldn't stop me from watching One Piece. But now I'm just like, alright, I guess I'll watch it. The best episodes are the ones with Luffy. Like, I'm in the Coliseum right now. The best episodes is just when Luffy goes around just demolishing people. That's all really I gotta say about it. Hopefully when the dub comes out, because yes, I'm a filthy slime that watches the dub instead of the sub. Hopefully when the dub comes out, that'll fix a lot of the issues with the personality problems that I have. Just because I'm not a fan of the way they sound in Japanese, and it looks like the voice acting does not match up with their mouths.